they have Bol. I think he's the sleeper. He's going to show up and show out this season for the Phoenix Suns, and I feel like he's going to be one of those guys that's going to be up for the race for as a candidate off the bench for his Defensive Player of the Year.
Why are we scrutinizing and comparing Victor Wembanyama's game at his young age with such intensity? What unique skills and potential does the NBA prodigy possess? Join us as we delve into his journey. In the NBA, reality sometimes takes unexpected turns and twists, especially when it comes to players like Bol. If you've ever tuned into sports channels like ESPN or TNT during the summer, you might have stumbled upon discussions about Bol, leaving you scratching your head in confusion. There's Kendrick Perkins, a familiar face, chatting about Bol as if he's the next big thing for the Phoenix Suns. He's the sleeper, Kendrick says confidently, a real contender for Defensive Player of the Year off the bench. You're intrigued, nodding along, thinking this guy must be onto something. Fast forward to game day, you're glued to your screen, eagerly waiting to see Victor Wembanyama, the highly anticipated number 1 draft pick, in action against the Phoenix Suns. But wait a minute, where is Bol? He's nowhere to be seen on the court. Instead, he's warming the bench like a forgotten relic. At halftime, Shaq pops up on TNT, his booming voice filling the room. He's all praise for Wembanyama, calling him one of the greatest prospects ever. But what about Bol? Why isn't anyone talking about him? Here's the thing about Bol. Once upon a time, he was hailed as the future of basketball, a rising star destined for greatness. Shaq himself remembers this version of Bol, the one with so much promise. But here's the catch. Shaq, despite his towering presence in the world of basketball commentary, doesn't really keep up with the game. Sure, he watches bits and pieces for his job on Inside the NBA, but it's more like having one eye on the game and the other on his DJ gear. In fact, out of all the games Shaq has watched since Bol entered the scene in 2019, only one game featured Bol in a somewhat significant role. So why does Bol keep popping up in conversations despite his limited time on the court? Imagine this. It's the summer of 2017 and Bol is making waves on the court. He's turning heads, catching the eye of basketball aficionados everywhere. There's a buzz surrounding him, whispers of greatness in the making. But fast forward to today, and Bol's journey has taken a detour. He's no longer the hot topic of discussion. Instead, he's becoming a footnote in the ever-evolving narrative of basketball. So, the next time you hear someone raving about Bol on ESPN or TNT, take it with a grain of salt. Behind the hype and hoopla lies a player still searching for his place in the game. A player whose story is still being written, one game at a time. And who knows, maybe one day Bol will defy the odds, rise from the bench, and reclaim his spot in the sunlight. But until then, he remains the enigma of basketball, a mystery waiting to be unraveled. Shaq's son, Sharif, was climbing the ranks in his high school basketball team. He was on his way to graduating as the number 1 player in California. But interestingly, Sharif wasn't the top recruit on his team. That honor went to Bol, the son of a former NBA player. The front court duo of Sharif and Bibi was gaining attention left and right. Sharif was known for his incredible athleticism, while Bibi, standing at 7 foot 2 inches, amazed everyone with his godlike skills. They were supported by their teammate Spencer Freeman, who had recently gone viral himself for crossing up La Melo Ball in the California State playoffs. Shaquille O'Neal, Sharif's father, was a common attendee of their games, adding to their viral fame. People couldn't believe what they were seeing, a towering giant like Bibi effortlessly dunking and making plays, often followed by Shaq's amazed reactions. BB had been a sensation for years, first gaining attention as a 6'5", 7th grader, and then as a 6'1", 14-year-old with guard-like skills. His viral fame combined with his exceptional talent made him a top recruit in the country and the #1 center. Despite the high expectations, BB chose to attend the University of Oregon. He didn't disappoint, starting his college career with dominant performances, averaging 21 points, 10 rebounds, and nearly 3 blocks per game. His shooting percentages were off the charts, making him one of the most talked about players in college basketball. BB and Wembanyama are two basketball players who often get compared, but there's a lot of misinformation out there that makes BB seem better than he really is. Let's clear that up. First off, BB had a great start to his college basketball career. He played for Oregon, a team that faced some weaker opponents early on. This made BB's stats look amazing, but it's important to realize that those teams weren't as tough as the ones Wembanyama faced. Wembanyama played in Europe against professionals, which is a whole different ballgame. When we look at their stats, sure, they might seem similar, but remember, Wembanyama was only 19 years old and averaged 22 points per game against pros in Europe. That's impressive. Plus, Wembanyama led his team to the finals of the French League. That's some serious skill. Now, let's talk about physical attributes. BB is tall at 7'2" inches, but Wembanyama is even taller at 7'4", with an 8-foot wingspan. That's crazy long. We often group all players over 7 feet together, but we shouldn't. Just like we don't compare a 6'5" player to a 6'3" player the same way. We shouldn't lump all tall players together. People like to say Wembanyama is more consistent than BB, but that's not a fair comparison. It's like saying Ben Simmons is almost as good a shooter as Curry because he can sometimes make 3-pointers. It's just not true. Wembanyama and BB have very different skills, especially when it comes to shooting. BB might have a good college career posting up against smaller players, but in the NBA, he's not as dominant as people think. Sure, there are clips of him making impressive plays, but they don't happen as often as you'd think. He struggles with his shooting and isn't as versatile as Wembanyama. In fact, BB's shooting percentages are pretty low, except when he shoots from the top of the key. Everywhere else, he's below average. So, while he might look good in some highlight reels, his overall performances aren't as impressive. When it comes down to it, Wembanyama and BB are just very different players. Wembanyama has proven himself against tough competition in Europe, while BB's success in college might not translate as well to the NBA. It's important to look beyond the surface and understand the full story before comparing players. So let's put an end to the comparisons and appreciate Wembanyama for the unique talent that he is. With his offensive game improving and his defensive prowess unmatched, he's poised to make a big impact in the league this season. And who knows, maybe we'll even see him in the running for Defensive Player of the Year. But one thing's for sure, Wembanyama is a force to be reckoned with, and he's only just getting started. So do comment your thoughts on this. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for all the latest basketball content. Until next time.